Hey, everyone, we're going to give it just a couple minutes. There was a pretty bad traffic jam on the way in, so we're just waiting on a couple members. The House Education Committee will come to order. Will the clerk please take attendance?
Chair Colazar.
Here.
Representative Churches. Present. Shannon.
Present.
Stone. Weiss. Glanville.
Present.
Conlon.
Present.
Edwards. Wagella.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Markkinen.
Here.
Paquette.
Here.
Wenzel.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Representative Conlon moves to approve the minutes of the February 28th meeting without objection so ordered. Today, we will be taking testimony on House Bill 4064 and House Bill 4157. But before we begin testimony, we do have an amendment offered to House Bill 4064. Representative Wagella moves or offers the amendment. Will the clerk please take the roll? Or sorry, yeah.
Chair Colazar.
Yes.
Representative Churches.
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Stone. Weiss. Glanville.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Are we talking about this list of amendments that's sitting here?
Yes.
Oh, can I pass? I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to, I didn't see these amendments until,
Sure.
I'm sorry. Pass.
Conlon.
Yes.
Edwards. Wagella.
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Markman,
Yes.
Paquette, Wenzel,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays, 1 pass. The amendment is adopted.
Thank you. And with that, welcome Representative Carter to come on up and testify on her bill, House Bill 4064.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Committee. I'm here today to testify on House Bill 4064. This bill allows the Department of Education to develop or adopt plans to teach cursive as a type of penmanship into schools and to make those plans available to schools. Currently, there are 21 states that require cursive to be taught in schools. It is a well-known fact among the scientific community that children and adults alike need to learn and develop handwriting skills. In a 2020 study by Advik, Vanderwell, and Vandermeer, it was found that children who learned how to write in cursive were better able to store into their memory information they had written than participants who were told only to type. The conclusion of this study is clear. Students who learn through writing are better able to develop memory to retain the information they wrote versus those who type using a keyboard. Handwriting uses different muscle memory. It's clear from this study alone that we must start encouraging kids to be taught cursive in school again, not just typing. The benefits of ensuring our kids are taught cursive in schools are far more than just teaching them how to sign their names. By passing this bill, we can help children develop better memories and improve their cognitive skills. Now, on a personal note, I was going through some items of my late son, Brian. I stumbled across the letter that he wrote when he was 9 years old, and he wrote it in cursive. He wanted to be a policeman. He ended up being a person he was a veteran in the Army in the Iraq War. My son passed away in 2019, and I was able to pass this letter on to his 9-year-old daughter, Jazara. A week later, Jazara wrote me a note in cursive. And she was saying in this note, "My grandma is amazing." So the bottom line of this is, this letter here was written 25 years ago, but my granddaughter was able to read it because she could read in cursive. Another thing I would like to show, that in honor of my son's service in the military, he was given this award by President Donald Trump, and this award was written in cursive and signed in cursive. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will now take any questions.
I have one quick question. Can you just confirm that this cursive writing option is indeed that, just an option and not a mandate?
It is definitely an option. In fact, it's written in the bill that the MDE has asked us to not make it a mandate, but give the option to schools. So it is an option.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from committee members? Okay. Thank you, Representative. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, committee.
Next up, we will be taking testimony on House Bill 4157 from Representative Coleman.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chair Colazar, Vice Chair Churches, Minority Vice Chair Green, members of the committee. I appreciate you having me today to discuss my bill, House Bill 4157, otherwise known as the TAPS bill. It's a simple but much-needed bill, which would allow pupils in grades 6 through 12 to be excused for up to one full school day for sounding taps at a military honors funeral held in this state for a deceased veteran. School officials shall consider that absence to be an excused absence under this bill. And it's a reintroduction of my bill, House Bill 4343 from last session, which received bipartisan support and passed the House. It was placed on third read in the Senate, but didn't make it for a vote. Since 1999, the Department of Defense has been required by law to provide funeral honors to all veterans upon request. Unfortunately, there's been great difficulty in securing enough individuals capable of physically playing taps to meet the needs of all military honors funerals in our state. This has resulted in numerous workarounds, including a device inserted into a bugle, which would play taps from a speaker inside the bell without having someone actually know how to play the song. So I feel that our veterans deserve a student musician, a live musician to play taps at their funeral. That's a better way to respect their service and their sacrifice for our country. And in schools all over Michigan, we have students, music students, who are capable and willing to perform this role, but doing so may cause them to receive an absence, an unexcused absence on their record. This bill simply removes that barrier to allow more students the opportunity to participate in a military honors funeral. In my opinion, we owe it to our veterans to allow students to be able to leave school for the one day and make it to the funeral to play. I thank you for your time as you consider this legislation.
Thank you. A question for you. I'm curious how you were made aware of this.
So the former representative from my district, Robert Kozowski, actually introduced similar legislation. It was almost identical. And he had been notified about a student in our district several years back who reached out to one of the VFWs had reached out to him to play at a funeral, and apparently he had a little trouble getting his absence excused. So the former representative wanted to do something about it, and then I've talked to other veterans groups across the state, and they've said that from time to time, it's not an everyday thing, but from time to time, this has been an issue.
Representative Glanville?
Not really a question. I just want to add a point of advocacy here. I think it's important to understand as well the experiential benefit for the student. To be able to participate in a ceremony like this, introduce them a little bit more personally to military service, that sort of thing, the intergenerational relationships that get built through doing this kind of work, it's invaluable. And so, I would say that although it might be an absence from school, it is not an absence from learning. There's a lot of life skills going on there that you're not going to get in the classroom, and it's an incredible opportunity for our kids.
Thank you. Fully agree.
Thank you. Representative Green?
Thank you for coming today, and I thank you for presenting this bill. And as a veteran, it's really important that we have a live person. I've been to these ceremonies where they just put the piece, and it is absolutely not the same. And I echo Representative Glanville's sentiments that it is a learning experience. It's actually really unfortunate that you had to have this bill. So I thank you for presenting it.
Thanks for your service. Appreciate it.
I think there are a lot of stories. I think, my uncle, for example, we had a taps player, but then my grandfather, World War II veteran, they basically had somebody hold the horn up, but it was all through a speaker. So I definitely, and it does create a different experience. So thank you for bringing this bill.
Thank you,
Any
Chair.
other questions? Yeah, Rep. Shannon.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you actually introduced this back in 2019 also, correct? So
Yes,
this is the
so
third
this is
time.
my third. Yep.
The third time, and
Third
then
introduction.
Kozlowski before you. So
Yep.
not sure why this hasn't gotten done in the past, but look forward to it passing.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
I do have some cards to read in. Not wishing to speak and supporting House Bill 4064, Cheryl Kennedy from Michigan Department of Education. Not wishing to speak supporting House Bill 4064, David Randalls from Oakland Schools. Not wishing to speak and supporting House Bill 4157, Cheryl Kennedy from Michigan Department of Education. And with that, Representative Conlin moves to excuse absent members without objection so ordered. And there being no further business before the committee will stand adjourned.